Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Edward Joseph, and let's talk live. TM message to the people. Kenneka Jenkins, part two. All right, let's talk. Well, today, peoples, has been such an interesting day. I'm here. I am back live, and I am going to talk about some things, peoples. People's TM message to the people. Kenneka Jenkins, part two. You guys come on in. You guys come on in. You guys come on in, for there's so much to talk about, peoples. You guys come on in. Peoples, I am here and I am back and I am back live. And hopefully, many of you will go ahead and give me some prompts. Many of you will go ahead and do what's right and give me the props that I deserve. And that is coming in, peoples, and liking the channel. Because, see, what's all too often many of you do is you guys come on in and you watch the video, but you don't like the channel. And so I'm not going to tolerate this madness, peoples. If you can't come in and if you can't like the channel, well, then, hey, I'll just shut down the live again. But right now, I wanted to come and I wanted to prove some facts to the people, the things that I have found because of the things that I have been saying. I said I wanted to come in, peoples. I wanted to come in and I wanted to show the people the various things that I found based upon the various things that I have said. Now, see, peoples, I've always been show and tell. I've always been one to go back and I've always been one to show you exactly the various things that I have been saying. Do you understand, peoples? See, the thing is, I can always back up my claim. Anything that I say, I've always can back it up. Edward Joseph can back up anything that he says. But see, the thing is, peoples, many people cannot back up their claim because they are so hilarious and nefarious. But Edward Joseph is not hilarious and nefarious because, see, the thing is, peoples, I can back up anything that I say. And I had told you all, peoples, that Irene Roberts had went live. And Irene Roberts had her child in her live. Now, see, this is what I'm saying, people. See, because see, where you guys think that just that little clip was just all of Irene's live. No, it wasn't, peoples. No, it wasn't. And I told you that. But see, many of you did not believe what Edward Joseph was saying. And so now I am back to prove to you peoples exactly what I have been saying. And that these people have been lying forever and a day. And that you cannot take the testimony of the people because the people have been lying. Now, if there's any validity to this, their stupidity, peoples, well, then we would have seen a different outcome in the Kenneka Jenkins case. But there's no validity to their stupidity. And the thing is, if everything that they were saying was actual, factual, and true, peoples, well, then my question is literally this: why did they lie in the first place? I said, why did they lie, peoples? They lied for a reason. They lied for a reason. All of them, they lied for a reason. And so, why did they lie? Because, see, the thing is, peoples, if you was going to, if you were going to be one that was going to be actual, factual, and true, and tell the truth in this particular case, then it's no reason to lie. Do you understand what I'm saying, peoples? I said it is no reason for them to lie, peoples. If you were going to tell the truth, but why lie? And they lie because of the simple fact that they were involved in some shady stuff. And see, Edward Joseph has been pointing this out forever and a day. And it ain't no reason for me to lie, peoples, because again, I'm just only showing you what my findings is. Now, see, you may not been able to see everything. But the wonderful thing about Edward Joseph is I can always prove my stance. Anything that I show you, I can prove it. Everything that I tell you, I can prove it. And I told you, peoples, that Irene had her child at her live. And you guys didn't believe me. But you'll believe me now because I'm getting ready to show you the picture of Irene and the baby, her baby boy. She had her baby boy at her live because her sister had brought her baby to the live. Oh, yes, she did. Oh, yes, she did, peoples. Yes, she did. And I'm trying to find the live, the actual live of the video that we see the baby in it. But I have the screenshot, peoples, which clearly shows Irene had her child at her live. Now, tell me I'm lying. I said, tell me that I am lying, peoples. See? Because, see, the thing is, I'm getting ready to prove to you right now, peoples. I said, I'm getting ready to prove to you right now, peoples. Do you understand what I'm saying, peoples? So let me show you, peoples, Irene and her child. Let me share my screen, peoples. Let me see. Let me see if I can do it. Let me see if I can do it this way. If I can be able to. No, I won't be able to do it that way. So let me do it this way. So let me show you Irene and her child, peoples. Is that all right? All right. So let me show you two pictures, people. So I'm fit to bring all of these pictures down because you're going to see something here, peoples. You're going to see something here. Okay, so let me get these pictures up together. And then let me show you, peoples. I said, let me show you, peoples. Okay, so here, let me bring that up and let me move this over here. And then here we are, peoples. Bingo to the bingo, peoples. Let me show you, peoples. Bingo to the bingo. Okay. All right. Okay, so let me go ahead and share my screen, peoples. Let me share my screen, and so you will see. Okay. Let me share my screen this way. And then you will see right here, peoples. Bingo to the bingo. Okay, you see that, peoples, right? There's the baby right there. Two different photos. There's the baby right there. See that, right? There's the child right there, peoples. And there's Irene right there. And then guess who's that in the background? That is Shemaiah. I said that is Shemaiah, peoples. There she is right there. That is Shemaiah. That's not Kenneka. That is Shemaiah. Because look at Shemaiah and then look at Kenneka. See that? Look at Shemaiah and look at Kenneka. Let me go ahead and bring this back. There we go, right there. See that? There's Shemaiah, and then there is Kenneka. See that? And see Shemaiah, as you can see, and I don't know why I keep doing this thing like that. See Shemaiah, she had on the blue top and it comes across. But then look at Kenneka, she had on the blue jacket, the blue jean jacket. There it is right there. And then there you see the baby right there with the little ponytail, and you can see the little baby's face right there. See that? That was her little boy. And she was holding a little boy and she was taking a picture. Bingo to the bingo, peoples. See? So don't ever tell Edward Joseph what he doesn't know, because there's the baby right there, peoples. The baby is right there clearly in your face. There it is right there. And there is Kenneka and there is Shemaiah. There is Kenneka and there is Shemaiah. And let me go ahead and let me do a screenshot of this right here. Now I'm going to name it Irene with her child. And I will put it in downloads. All right, I know that's a long title for a picture, but it's okay. At least I'll know. At least I'll know, because I have to had to be so expressive so I can come back to it. But there's the bingo to the bingo peoples right there. I said there is the bingo to the bingo peoples. And so let me go ahead and let me post that. Let me go ahead and let me post that to my community wall. I said, let me post that to my community wall, peoples. You know, so there it is right there, peoples. I mean, the evidence is clearly in your face right there, peoples. Evidence is clearly in your face. You know, evidence is crystal clearly in your face. And it's right there. So let me post that to my community wall. But let me go ahead and get the title of that so then I can post it to my community wall, because that was a lot in that I had written. So let me go back here and let me copy all of that. Okay, now let me go ahead and post that to my community wall. See, peoples, that is the bingo to the bingo moment right there, peoples. I said that is the bingo to the bingo moment. So let me go to my community wall. Let me go to post. And then let me put this down first. And then let me go ahead and copy that. And then bingo to the bingo. Right there. And let me post it. There it is right there, people. This is in your face. Okay, so I don't need to do it twice because I've already have it on there. So I just need to just let me just copy this one, and then I'm gonna just do it that way. Copy that one picture. So let me go ahead and delete this, and let me go ahead and copy it to my other channels. So all my other channels will have that, so the people can see for themselves what Edward Joseph has been saying for the longest time. The people, before you go speak and start saying a whole lot of stuff, it's best to do your research. It's best to do your research, because everything I be telling you guys, I can back it up. I can prove it. There's no need for me to sit back up here and lie and stuff. And then look how they had manipulated the photos of Kenneka. See that? So let me switch my accounts and just go down the line and post this to my community wall. See, you got to know what you're talking about, peoples, before you talk in things and start blurting out a whole lot of stuff that you're not even fully aware of. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I can back up anything that I say, because I've been looking at this stuff forever and a day. And I know what was done in the beginning. And a lot of this stuff I have on my live. So all I have to do is just try to go back and look at all of the lives that I did to find all of this original content. Because what they did in the beginning, they don't want to show now. But that's okay, because they ain't gotta try to show it now. That's fine. They ain't gotta try to show it now, because see, the thing is, it's already up on somebody's page, and it's up on my page. And all I have to do is just go and search and find that video footage. It may take me a minute, but I'll find it. And I will go ahead and I will show you guys. And I will go ahead and I will continue to keep expressing that of what I have been saying forever and a day. Do you understand what I'm saying, peoples? And so, we finally now, because of TM, we got a narrative. We at least have a timeline narrowed down. Thanks to TM and Brazy, Certified World Media. We have a timeline down pat, because from the time to when the supposed Kenneka came to the establishment to the time she came up missing, it is only one golden hour, peoples. Did you hear what I said? It says it's only one golden hour. And so we didn't see the video footage of Kenneka, Shemaya, and Monifa and Bree walking to the main halls of that establishment. We haven't seen that, peoples. I said we haven't seen that, peoples. But what we did see, peoples, is edited footage that they wanted us to see. And so there's a couple of video clips that I wanted to show you, peoples. I said there's a few video clips that I wanted to show you, peoples, that I had found. So I wanted to show you a couple of video clips, peoples, that I had found. And things. And so let me see if I can find it again. And so this is so let me share this right here, because see, this was the program that Leave No Witness was using. So let me go ahead and let me share my screen again. This is the program that Leave No Witness was using. And so let me share my screen. Let's go back to that. There it is right there. And it's called Topaz Labs. And it's a video editing software to where it enhances the video quality. And so it costs about $299, peoples, about $300. But this was the video. This was the video editing enhancement software that Leave No Witness was using. So you guys may want to spend $299 and pick this up, and you can be able to do some stuff that he did. This is what the professionals use. This is what, a lot of people use and stuff. And so I never got the program because I didn't have no need for it. I didn't have no need for it because, again, I can see without having to use enhancements and things. That's just how good my eyes is. I have eagle eyes, so I can see. But he took the extra mile and he went on and he went on and he had started to use this program. And so, it's good because he had pretty much stated his case with the program that he used. So, which was good. And so he clearly shown you that the video footage was edited, peoples. That's what he's shown. He's shown that the video footage was edited. And I've been trying to tell the people forever and a day, but again, nobody wants to listen to Edward Joseph. But then when I come out and I'll go ahead and show you and come and prove my case with the pictures and screenshots and things, then nobody ain't got nothing to say. Because I know what I'm talking about, peoples. I said I know what I am talking about, peoples. And so, it's funny how all of the stuff that these people were saying and things and how they're trying to manipulate the narrative and stuff it's funny to me. So I want to show this video, people. I want to show this little clip. And I think I just passed it up. But now Trey Gay is going to watch this live, and then he's going to come back and he's going to start talking about the various things that I had just stated, peoples. I said he is going to come back and he's going to talk about the various things that I just been talking about, peoples. Trey Gay. But I want you guys to take a look at this video right here, peoples. I want you guys to take a look at this. And then tell me if this timeline fits your narrative. Let's take a look at this, peoples. Let's go. And notice it's all just clips.
Today's case took place in 2017 in the city of Rosemont, near Chicago in the USA. It was marked by numerous controversies caused by rife speculation on the internet. Part of the evidence was videos shared on social media apps which were later deleted, causing even more confusion. Today I'm going to talk about the case of Kenneka Jenkins, who disappeared after leaving a party in the middle of the night, but was found dead less than 24 hours later, in the same hotel where the party had taken place. Kenneka Jenkins was born on May 27, 1998. At the time that this event happened, in 2017, She was 19 years old and living with her mother, Teresa Martin, and two sisters, one older and one younger, in Chicago, Illinois. On a Friday, September 8, 2017, Kenneka asked to borrow her mother's car, saying she was going to go bowling at the mall, or maybe the cinema, with two friends, Irene Roberts and Monica Shelton, to celebrate her new job. She had just gotten a position as a receptionist at a nursing home, and this new job was starting on Monday. But in reality, Kenneka and her friends were going to a party that was taking place in one of the rooms at the Crowne Plaza Hotel. Booking a hotel room and inviting people to listen to music, dance and drink is not something that hotels allow, but it does happen with a certain frequency, even without management's consent. Even knowing that the chances of this ending in their financial loss and appearing in a police report, teenagers always prefer to take the risk. The party that Kenneka and her friends went to took place in room 926, and according to investigations, there were 30 people present. Furthermore, it appears that before arriving at the location, the group had met up with a contact to buy drinks and drugs. The three were observed entering the hotel, but not through the main door. They used an alternative entrance at around 1:15 a.m. on Saturday. The little details that are known about this party come from photos, videos and social media entries posted by the young people who attended. They had loud music, various types of drinks, and possibly harder drugs. It was in these records that Kenneka could be seen drinking a lot of what many said was cognac and also dancing and having fun. Guests in other apartments began to complain about the noise, the movement in the corridors on the 9th floor, and the strong smell of cigarettes. The partygoers had disabled the room's smoke detectors. It was clear that these young people did not care about the danger. At around 3:10 a.m., after many complaints, it seemed like the party was coming to an end, and Kenneka, who was highly intoxicated, decided to leave along with her friends. But while they were waiting for the elevator, Kenneka realized that she had left her mobile phone and keys in the room. The friends left Kenneka in the hallway and went to retrieve her belongings. It was clear that Kenneka herself barely knew where she was and wasn't going to be able to help. This was a decision that forever changed her life. No one stayed with her in the hallway, and it took Irene and Monica more than 15 minutes to return. When they did, Kenneka was gone. The girls looked for their friend. They looked in the stairwell, hallways, lobby, pool area, gym, convention rooms, parking lot, but they could not find Kenneka. They returned to the party room, which at that time was practically empty. Not knowing what else to do, at 4:34 a.m., they called Teresa to say her daughter had disappeared. Now imagine that difficult situation, guys. Teresa had just undergone cancer treatment and was still in bed. Cell phone message records show that while Teresa was convalescing and in pain, she had asked Kenneka to keep an eye on her cell phone as she might need the car back to go to the hospital if she didn't feel well. But given the scenario, Teresa did what most mothers would do. She summoned in herself an inexplicable warrior strength and went in search of her daughter. Arriving at the hotel, Teresa, together with her two daughters, asked the receptionist to let her look at the security cameras. She said her daughter was missing and she was worried that some man might have taken her or coerced the young girl into a room. At that moment, terrible thoughts were going through her head. The hotel refused to access the cameras, saying that to do so, they would need a police warrant. Kenneka's friends immediately began to post some videos online, saying that the hotel was not helping them to find her. The hotel, legally, cannot provide or even show images from internal security cameras to guests, much less to those coming from outside. These images are the private property of the hotel, which in turn has an ethical commitment towards guest privacy. The receptionist explained that if her daughter was missing, she needed to file a police report, and then the police would come to the hotel and be able to access the camera images. Without their presence there, they couldn't do anything. There is a serious protocol that governs this matter, but it must also be said that no one at the hotel had the sensitivity or empathy to help them in any other way, such as asking an employee to analyze the images in privacy, for example.
911, where's the address of your emergency?
Yes, I'm at the Crown Plaza at O'Hare Airport, and I was calling because my daughter came to a party here last night, a gathering with her friends, and now her friends, they say that they left on the front of the hotel, and she's not able to be found now. She's 19 years old. Her name is Kenneka Jenkins.
All right, can you spell her?
The room wasn't registering her name. She came with some friends here.
Do you think it's possible maybe she went to one of her friends' houses, or, she's probably...
No, actually, because she had my car. She was driving my car. She know I don't like nobody to drive my car because my insurance will not pay for nobody, no one besides her. And her friends kept calling my phone. I told them to stay out here. They stayed out here, but they called me like about 3-something in the morning. I was laying in bed. I just had breast surgery. I fought breast cancer. So I'm, sedated off medication early. And they telling me, she out here, so once I rejuvenated...
Teresa called 911, explained what was happening in a calm call that lasted about 10 minutes. The police ended up telling her to wait until 10 or 11 in the morning, and that if Kenneka didn't show up, she should go in person to the police station to file a police report. And so that is exactly what happened. Teresa went to the police station that morning and returned to the hotel sometime later with police officers. 2 investigators plus the hotel's day manager began analyzing the images, focusing on the entrances and exits. At first, they found nothing. Consider that there are several cameras that would have to be rewound and re-watched for hours. So this is not a quick process. Also, the resolution is not that perfect, and every time someone passes the screen, they have to stop to analyze whether or not that's who they were looking for. While the police analyzed the images with the hotel's management, a group of protesters made up of Kenneka's family and friends formed at the entrance to the hotel. They demanded a thorough investigation, and they wanted answers as to where Kenneka was. Several live broadcasts were made asking the authorities for help, including Teresa Martin herself, where she begged for attention to be focused on the disappearance. Hours passed, and the night manager took over and continued to analyze the cameras alongside the police. It wasn't until around 10 p.m. that they got the first image of Kenneka, where she was staggering near the reception at 3:20 a.m. From here, you will know exactly what happened to Kenneka Jenkins. At 3:25 a.m., she is seen leaving the elevator in the main corridor of the hotel. It is clear that she was not well. She did not seem to know which direction to go, continually losing her balance, but continuing to walk. 34 seconds later, she is seen climbing the stairs to the lobby, still staggering a lot, supporting himself so as not to fall. For a few seconds, she even walks bent over, supporting herself with her shoulder and head against the wall. At 3:26 and 13 seconds, she appears on the camera in the first floor hallway. The images make us wonder how she didn't fall, as it was possible to see how unbalanced her body was. Perhaps it would be a stumble that would have saved her life. This specific corridor seemed endless. Kenneka walked in a zigzag fashion and never seemed to reach the other side. At 3:27 and 44 seconds, she entered the hotel's kitchen, which was completely empty. 30 seconds later, she passed by the electric ovens. At 3:29, she is seen leaving the kitchen through another corridor, losing her balance at times. She hit the handrail of a staircase, but in a quick act she held on and didn't fall. Once again, you can see that she did not know where she was going as she went back and forth in circles. At 3:29 and 48 seconds, this same camera captures her returning to the corridor she had just left, but she immediately enters the first door on the side, leaving the place 48 seconds later. Kenneka returned to the hallway where she had come from, and 20 seconds later returned to the kitchen door from which she had exited minutes before. At 3:32 and 42 seconds, she is seen heading towards the back of the kitchen where the refrigerators and freezers are. This was the last time Kenneka was seen on camera. With this information, at midnight and 24 on the 10th, less than 24 hours after the disappearance, the hotel manager went to the refrigerator area, and inside the locked freezer, he found Kenneka's body. When she was found, she was lying face down, without one of her sneakers, which were actually inside, but not on her foot. There was no sign of trauma other than a small opening on this bare foot. Minutes later, numerous police officers arrived at the scene. The place was surrounded until legal procedures were carried out. Teresa, outside, was informed of the terrible discovery. She asked to go to the place and see her daughter, but was prevented from doing so, as the area was closed for forensic analysis and the entry of third parties could contaminate the scene. Teresa had to wait, and that wait was long. Despite being empty, as it was not used frequently, the freezer was on and working. The freezer temperature was only measured after the door was opened, and it was 34 degrees Fahrenheit. That is 1 degree Celsius. And it is possible to see from the cameras that at 4:53 a.m., she lay on a stretcher for a few minutes until Teresa arrived 14 minutes later. Teresa and one of her daughters arrive at the scene to recognize the body, and it is a heartbreaking scene. Having recently undergone surgery for breast cancer, Teresa can't stand it and bursts into tears. On October 27th, the autopsy results indicated that Kenneka's death was accidental due to hypothermia. In the tests carried out, a considerable amount of alcohol was found in her blood, and also a medication for epilepsy and migraines called topiramate, which is widely used illegally as an aid for weight loss. This medication, according to the website RX List, can cause several reactions when mixed with alcohol. Some of them are drowsiness, dizziness, nervousness, ataxia, fatigue, speech disorders, changes in reasoning, changes in vision, difficulty remembering, mental confusion, coordination problems, imbalance, and psychotic symptoms. This medication was not prescribed to Kenneka, and she probably acquired it at the party to use as a recreational drug. Cerebral edema was also observed, but this condition was not associated with the cause of death. It was something that she must have had for a long time but was unaware of. The city's police department issued a statement the same day, saying that although foul play was not suspected, the investigation had not yet been completed. The Crown Plaza Hotel offered to pay for Kenneka's funeral, which cost around $23,000, but the family declined the offer. From the moment the police report was made until November 2017, when the case was closed, 34 witnesses were interviewed. An activist called Andrew Holmes, who was involved in the case from the early hours when Teresa Martin went live asking for help, ended up setting up a Facebook page where he would publicize the facts and also raise funds to bring justice to the case. He wrote a long public letter criticizing the investigation and requesting FBI intervention. Teresa Martin later clarified that she never gave him authorization to use her daughter's case to raise funds or to use it in political debate. However, even though Teresa spoke out, many internet users joined the wave of conspiracy theories created by Andrew. The letter he wrote was posted before the conclusion of the investigations. It contained some theories, accusations, that undoubtedly impacted the case and deserved to be investigated. He started to list several points, of which I will leave space between each one to give brief explanations. 1. Why was the cold room on if the kitchen was not used? The answer to this question is that cold rooms, like freezers, cannot be left unplugged for long periods of time. For those who have a beach house, for example, that they only visit once in a while, where there are refrigerators, we know that these equipment can never be turned off. 2. Testimonies from Kenneka's friends remained inconsistent as to what exactly happened after the party. They told Kenneka's mother that they had gone downstairs with her, but in fact they left her alone to go get a cell phone from one of the hotel rooms. Okay, that actually happened. The girls said something to their mother at the beginning of it all, afraid to admit that they had left her alone. The camera images show that Kenneka walked alone the entire time on the hotel premises and unfortunately ended up going into the freezer, alone. This is an argument that does not change the facts, nor influence the outcome of the investigation into the case. 3. The footage and all other documents relating to the Kenneka case were released to the public on October 20th, 2017, and by releasing the documents, the police compromised the case. The authorization for the release of the images, including the images containing the body, were authorized by Kenneka's mother, who legally represents the victim. 4. The body was moved before the medical examiner arrived. Yes, it was. The employee who came down took a photo of her lying on her stomach with his cell phone and turned it over to see if she was alive. He shouldn't have done that, but he did. And that opens the door for the accusation that there was a fault in the investigation. 5. Evidence collection was poorly handled. The police dispute this fact, and while the activist and Kenneka's family accused the hotel of having removed part of the footage, or even of having erased the images from a camera facing the freezer's door, both the hotel and the police deny the existence of such a camera at that location. 6. The coroner's assistant was seen on video taking an unidentified object from his coat pocket. He then places the same object under the blanket on the stretcher with Kenneka Jenkins's body. This object was a temperature gauge used in body examinations. 7. The crime scene was not sealed. It was. So much so that Teresa herself could only approach after more than 4 hours when authorized. 8. The entire hotel, including the parking lot and the parameters specified in the police procedure, should have been closed. Closing the hotel would have been an exaggerated response, when the area where the body was found was already sealed. Closing an entire hotel, an entire shopping mall, for example, largely depends on what the police consider to be necessary for their investigation. 9. There was a substance in Kenneka's stomach that appeared to be semen. There was nothing like that found in the autopsy, and her body showed no signs of physical abuse. It's hard to know where he got this assumption from. 10. Her clothing showed signs of struggle. Kenneka's bra was pulled up on one side, exposing one of her breasts, and her pants were unbuttoned. According to the New England Journal of Medicine, symptoms of hypothermia depend on the temperature to which the body is exposed. In mild hypothermia, there may be goosebumps to mental confusion. In moderate hypothermia, shaky reactions and mental confusion increase. In severe hypothermia, there may be paradoxical stripping, in which a person removes their clothing, as well as a risk of cardiac arrest. This occurs because the body reacts with heat exchange, and the extreme external cold causes, at a certain moment, immense internal heat. So it is very common that, before the final collapse, the person takes off their clothes. 11. In the hotel shoot, Kenneka doesn't have fringe on her hair, but in the body shots, she has it. The hair is also soaked. Due to the humidity in the hair and the freezer temperature, it ended up being damp. Regarding the fringe, Kenneka was wearing a wig that day and her fringe were combed to the sides during the hotel filming. She probably touched her hair in the freezer. 12. They did not collect DNA or other biological material from her nails to be tested. Correct. They didn't even harvest it, and this was never explained. 13. Kenneka's body was listed as frozen, but was not given enough time to thaw properly for autopsy. The body was never frozen. This was the hotel employee's amateurish description when he radioed the police officer who was analysing the cameras. He said something like, "She's here in the freezer, frozen to death." But as I said, this was an amateurish description from a person who did not have the technical knowledge to differentiate between death caused by freezing and death from hypothermia. 14. The police did not check whether the video footage was edited before closing the case. This is very unlikely, considering that the police arrived at approximately 6 hours after the hotel became aware of her disappearance. They then took almost 14 hours to find the first images of Kenneka. So it is practically impossible that in 6 hours, someone at the hotel edited everything prior to the police arriving. At the end of 2017, after the case was closed and judged to have been an accident, a Chicago law firm contacted the family and offered help by proposing action against the hotel and the others involved. They displayed photos of a freezer door, showing that there was a lock button on the outside, and suggested that someone may have inadvertently locked the freezer door. This was contradicted by the security camera, which recorded no one other than Kenneka and the employee who was looking for her entering the kitchen. Later, it was also seen that the freezer in their photo was not the same brand as the one at the hotel. The lawyers also claimed that the hotel failed to properly look for Kenneka. If they had done so, they would have been able to locate her before she passed away. They claimed that the hotel had the means to lock down the area, the kitchen, as it had many padlocked access doors, and this was not done. As a result, the family claimed to have suffered tremendous mental and physical pain and suffering, humiliation, and lost wages. They had to leave work to follow the case. For these losses, the lawyers were asking for $50 million. They also posted this public note on their website on December 17th, 2018. At Beam Legal Team, LLC, we are proud to represent Miss Martin as she seeks appropriate compensation for the loss of her daughter and the pain and suffering her daughter endured while slowly freezing to death in this tragic, avoidable accident. Attorneys Jack Beam, Matthew Patterson, and Ryan Timoney are currently representing Miss Martin, and we have partnered with Fieger Law, a Michigan-based personal injury firm, in order to ensure her case is as strong and effectual as possible. Another thing to note about this case is that at no point does anyone talk about Kenneka herself. No one talks about what she did at school, what she liked, nothing. So much so that it's very difficult to find any information on the internet. Everyone just talks about the case. Kenneka's wake was held 2 days after her death, before the investigation reports had come out. It was well attended, but there were many strangers there holding signs asking for justice for Kenneka. Teresa Martin is completely cured of her cancer and is healthy. The lawsuit filed by the family against the hotel is still ongoing. Even though Kenneka didn't tell her mother where she was going that night, she acted like many teenagers do at that age. At the party, which took place in an inappropriate and prohibited location, it was too dangerous. Her friends, who could have been keeping an eye on her, didn't. The hotel's surveillance was faulty. A sequence of poor decisions and bad actions solely and exclusively affected Kenneka. Kenneka Jenkins was a beautiful girl who lost the chance to experience many wonderful things in life. Despite the sad way it all ended, this case at least serves as a cautionary tale for many of us. We express our deepest sympathies to the victim's family. If you've made it this far, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to this channel.
Now, see, peoples, he had brought up so many different questions that many people can't answer, but he answered it to the best that he could. But do you accept the answers that he has given? Well, that's upon you to answer. I want to go back and go through all of the questions that he had, and I want you guys to answer in your own way if you believe that the answers that he has given was satisfactory to you. You know, I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna take apart this live that I just shown and things, and you know, I want to splice it up to the degree. I want to splice it up to the degree to whereas, you know, show all of the answers. I mean, all of the questions, and then I want you guys to answer it in your own way. Because I don't agree. He has an answer for everything, but I don't agree with everything that he was saying. And rightfully so. We don't have to agree. You know, I mean, he stated his opinion, and I'll state mine, and you can state yours, and we all can come up with our own version, our conclusion as to what we believe, you know. And whatever you say or whatever you believe in stuff, I mean, you know, that's to what you believe. But this was good because see, this has given us a lot more pictures and video. You know, it gave us a lot more pictures and video that many of us have never seen before in things. And then they gave you a little bit more information as to who had represented her. Now, as Custom Design had said, the mud rock paperwork was supposed to have been the catalyst to all of what supposed to have happened to Kenneka, and that him and T. Slay was supposed, and Jig was supposed to have given us all of the true factual information. But the mud rock paperwork ain't nothing but a collective of narratives. That's all it was. Mud rock paperwork did not solidify or even give any definition to what supposedly have happened to Kenneka. The mud rock paperwork. Mud rock paperwork wasn't nothing but just a combination of statements and things that was stated in this particular case. So the mud rock paperwork didn't give no validation to this case. And so Customs can scream and holler as much as he want and get drunk and play the music and things, but that's all he can do. That's all he can do. You know, it's just scream and holler, play music and stuff, and then cry about Kenneka because he couldn't solve the case. And this is one of the reasons why him and T. Slay And Jig ain't talking about the Kenneka Jenkins case no more because the shit that they were saying, it doesn't make no sense. It absolutely, positively, and unequivocally don't make no sense, peoples. Now, if you ever believe that Kenneka was at a party on the west side of Chicago and never made it to the Crown Plaza, but was at the Marriott, then all of Jeffrey Feiger and crew, all of the stuff that they had said, all of the stuff that the police had said and did, all right, people, so I'm back. I don't know why my mic keeps going out, but it keeps going out. So I think I'm gonna have to buy me a new microphone or figure out something. I don't know. This is the first time this ever happened in things, and it's just driving me crazy. But I'm back here. And so let me put on the proper one. Okay, there we go. Okay, so like I said before, peoples, I'm gonna go ahead and call up all of the questions that he had and stuff, and I'm gonna post it and see if the people can be able to answer these things and stuff, you know. I'm gonna see if the people can answer it, because this is very, very interesting, people. So I mean, this was a very interesting, very interesting live that I have shown in things. And so, like I said, he had asked the questions and then he answered his own questions. And I don't know if you guys will have had the same type of response to that of what he had asked, but it was very interesting nevertheless. And so, people's, you know, I mean, the more that we continue to keep looking into this Kenneka Jenkins case, the more that we tend to find in things. The more that stuff just keeps continue to keep surfacing. And so, as I have shown you, and as I have told you, and I have posted it up on my community wall. And so let me go to my community wall, people. So let me go ahead and share my screen. So I'm going to remove this. I'm going to share my screen. Let me go to my community wall, because there's several things on there that I want you guys to see. Several things I want you guys to see. So let me go to my community wall right here. Go into my channel. Go to my community wall right here. And then bingo to the bingo right there, peoples. As I have told you and shown you, there you see Irene's baby right there. There you see the baby right there. Say, with the little ponytail. That was her son. She had her son at the time. And then there you see Shemaiah standing behind her. That was Shemaiah. That wasn't Kenneka, it was Shemaiah. Now let me show you Kenneka and Shemaiah, peoples. I don't know if I'm going to have the pictures up, because I think that I had ended up closing it when I had to restart my computer. But I think I got both of the pictures here. So let me see. I'm going to go to my downloads. Okay, so I got. Yep, I did it as I copied it together. Good. Okay, so there you see Shemaiah, and there you see the little baby with Irene, and then there you see Kenneka. And as you can see, if you look at the shirt right here and look at the jacket right here, see how the shirt encompassed the whole entire breast area? And look at the face, because Shemaiah's hair is parted to the side, where Kenneka's hair is hanging down on the side, but the part in the center, as you can see. So two different girls. There's Shemaiah, and there's Kenneka. But see, the thing is, you never seen Shemaiah in Irene's live. And why did you not see Shemaiah in Irene's live, other than this picture right here? And you've seen in the very beginning when Shemaiah, Monifa, and Kenneka had took that selfie video in Irene's live, because they were in the bathroom at the time. And I've shown you those pictures. And so now this is the very first and only picture that you ever seen Shemaiah in Irene's live. And there's Shemaiah right there. Crystal clear, and it's in your face. You never had Trey Gang or no other YouTuber ever show you Shemaiah in Irene's live. You never seen Shemaiah in Irene's live, but Edward Joseph is showing you Shemaiah. And there is Shemaiah right there in Irene's live, as well as Irene's baby boy right there. Bingo to the bingo, peoples. See that? See? I've always proved my stance, peoples. I've always proved the various things that I say. Now let's go back and let's look at those pictures of Shemaiah in Irene's live. But Shemaiah had took a video. So I know I got in here in this Kenneka thing, and it's going to take forever for these pictures to load up. Or, well, I guess it's loading up pretty quick now, but normally it'd be faster than this. So I'm going to make sure that today I'm getting all of these videos off of here, and I'm going to put it on my external drive so my computer can be fast, blazing fast. So the pictures is coming up, but it ain't coming up fast enough to where I want it. So let me see. Let me go to my one to share. And let me go to the download. And I think the pictures is in here. I think. Yeah, okay. There's the videos. There's the videos, but do I have the picture? No, I have the pictures in one of these. So these are the videos. And I wonder why come the videos is coming up so quickly and the pictures is not. Okay, that's fine. That is fine. That's fine. All right, so let me do this. Let me go to the, I think that was 15. Let me go to 14 and see. Let me go to downloads. I know I copied those pictures right into Kenneka's folder, but it's taking forever to load up. All right, so it's not loading up. Okay, cool. So there's a couple of videos in here that I want to, there's a couple of videos in here that I wanted to show and things. But before I do that, let me go back and see if I can find that picture. All right, so I'm going to close out and close that. Let's go back to Kenneka's photos. Hopefully all of the photos had, nope, all of the photos didn't. Oh man, I really hate this. Okay, so let me go through here and just kind of like scroll through. There it is right there. There it is right there. Bingo to the bingo. Okay, so as I told you, I knew it was here. And there it is right there. And there is Shemaya, peoples. There's Shemaya. There's Shemaya. There's Kenneka. And there is Monifa. And they are in the bathroom in Irene's live. There they are right there. Clear as daylight. See that? There's Kenneka. And there's Shemaya. Monifa. And there's Kenneka right there. Bingo to the bingo, peoples. Okay, y'all see that, right? Okay, so we know that Kenneka is in and Shemaya is in Irene's live. But let's go back to that picture, peoples. Let's go back to that picture right here. And so I got that picture in my downloads, so we're going to call it the picture from my downloads right here. We're going to call that up. Let me call it up right here. Call it the picture, and I'm going to call it the picture right there. All right. So now, as you can see, peoples, there is Shemaya. And Shemaya, look at her hair. See how her hair is parted to the side, and see how the hair is parted to the side, and look at the silhouette of the face, and look at the silhouette of the face. There's Shemaya right there, peoples. As you can clearly see. See that? See that? Look at the part. Look at the big hump right there. Look at the big hump right there. Look at the part right there. Look at the part right there. And look at the kind of round face. Look at the kind of round face right there. There is Shemaya. And then Shemaya had on the blue shirt. Because as you can see, there's the blue shirt right there. Clear as daylight, peoples. There's Shemaya. That's Shemaiah. And this is the first and only picture that you will ever see Shemaiah in Irene's live, peoples. That's the only time that you will ever see Shemaiah in Irene's live. So then the question becomes, where was Shemaiah? Where was Shemaiah when Irene went live? Well, Irene never really went live. Irene only did what Shemaiah had did with Kenneka and Monifa, is record a selfie. That's all. That wasn't a live. You see Shemaiah recording themselves, right? You see Shemaiah recording her and Monifa and Kenneka. Well, that was the same thing that Irene was doing in Irene's live. It wasn't no live. She was recording herself in the room. And there you see Kenneka right here. And there you see Shemaiah right there. And then there you see Irene's little baby right there, peoples. You clearly see it right there, right? You clearly see it. Clearly see it, clear as daylight. But you never seen Trey Gang ever find Shemaiah in Irene's lives. Only Edward Joseph did that, peoples. And bingo to the bingo peoples. There it is right there. It's in your face. It's right there and it's in your face. And there is Shemaiah. And there is Irene. And then there is Irene's little boy right there. And then there's Shemaiah standing in the background looking. And then there's Kenneka standing in the background looking. And guess what, peoples? Guess what, peoples? Irene had her baby at her party. But she took a video of herself and that wasn't a live, peoples. So see, that's the thing that I keep trying to tell the people and trying to get you guys to understand. Irene went and made a video recording of herself, but she never went live. Because remember in Irene's live, peoples, she had several phones. One, she was recording herself. Two, she was looking at something in the phone. Do you understand what I'm saying? And then the third phone was supposed to be they playing music. You did see 3 phones in Irene's hand, right? Let's go to Irene's live, peoples. Let's go to Irene's live. Let me go and Kenneka Jenkins. And let's go to Irene's live. See, I know what I'm talking about, peoples. I said, I know what I'm talking about, peoples. You know, it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing to be able to go in. Now, look at this, peoples. Chicago CBS News says no video of woman walking into freezer of the hotel. Now, this is Chicago News saying this, that there is no video footage of the young lady walking herself into the freezer. Let's take a look at this, peoples. See, the more you keep searching, the more you keep finding, the more that it kids keep making sense to what you're saying. Let's look at this, peoples. This is Chicago News said that no video of woman walking into freezer hotel.
CBS2 has learned we will never see Kenneka Jenkins walk into the hotel freezer where she was found dead. The reason? That video doesn't exist. Here's CBS 2's Audrina Begas.
Oh my God, peoples. What did CBS News say? They said that you will never see a video of Kenneka Jenkins walking into a freezer because guess what? The video never exists. This is CBS News, Chicago News, saying this, peoples. I told you that Kenneka Jenkins never walked the halls of that establishment, and she never walked herself in that freezer. And Chicago CBS News is just sharing the very same sentiments and the same thing Edward Joseph has been saying forever and a day. I even got the news people saying the same thing that I've been saying, peoples. Now, I got to download this. I'm doing the wrong thing because I didn't mean to open up my editing software. They just told you, peoples. So for all of you who was in doubt, the news just told you that the video doesn't exist, peoples. I'm going to go ahead and close up my editing software and open up this right here, because this is what I wanted to do, and this is why I need to download this. So, all right, going to close up, Pinnacle. Going to close up because I'm not calling you up right now. Y'all hold on for a moment. All right, peoples. So the news said that the video never existed. And so the news is going against the establishment and telling you that the video never existed. It never existed, just like a lot of things never existed, peoples. Boy, I'm going to have me some fun putting all this stuff together. I got it right there. I got my own copy. Now let's look at this and let's see what they said, peoples.
CBS2 has learned we will never see Kenneka Jenkins walk into the hotel freezer where she was found dead. The reason? That video doesn't exist. Here's CBS 2's Audrina Begas.
I want to see her literally actually walking into this freezer.
Kenneka Jenkins' mother wants to see it to believe it, but now we know that will not happen. According to the Crown Plaza Hotel in Rosemont, there is no video of Kenneka Jenkins walking into a freezer. We do see Kenneka walking in this lower level kitchen in the hotel. She stumbles, turns the corner, and then she goes out of frame. But then she's captured here by another camera stumbling in the kitchen.
No one from Crown Plaza Hotel responds to her.
Video time codes appear to show Kenneka roaming the hotel for more than an hour. First, Kenneka is walking with friends. There's a time gap, and then she's later seen by herself. At one point, she stumbles out of an elevator. Later, she repeatedly hits the wall walking down a hallway.
We will get to the bottom of it. We will only go to where the facts lead us.
Last week, attorneys for Kenneka's family said they would be conducting their own independent investigation. Today, attorney Larry Rogers Jr. toured the hotel for about an hour. A hotel spokesperson says Rogers took pictures inside, asked questions, and walked in all of the areas that video shows Kenneka walking. And we're here live now outside the Crown Plaza Hotel where you'll see some flashing lights behind me. That's because dozens of protesters are circling the hotel as police watch over them right now. Kenneka's mother is in that crowd. It's been nearly 10 days since her body was found here at the hotel, but still no toxicology or autopsy results have been released. We did ask the hotel today if they're doing any type of internal investigation regarding the monitoring of their surveillance cameras. They say they are constantly reviewing their safety and security policies. Live in Rosemont, Audrina Begas, CBS 2 News. Robin.
10 days, and the video footage hasn't been released, peoples. 10 days. You heard what they said. 10 days, and the video footage hasn't been released. So that's significant. And then for you people who said that she walked herself into that freezer, I told you she never did. She never did. So it is wonderful for me to go back in time and find this video footage that corroborates everything that I have been saying forever and a day, peoples. That's a beautiful thing, peoples. That is a beautiful thing. Let's listen to what the supposed autopsy had garnered in the Kenneka Jenkins case, peoples.
We now know how the 19-year-old woman who was found dead in a hotel freezer died. The Cook County Medical Examiner's Office ruled Kenneka Jenkins' death accidentally from cold exposure, also alcohol intoxication, and the use of a drug for treating epilepsy and migraines were significant contributing factors. Surveillance videos released by police show Jenkins alone wandering through the Crowne Plaza Hotel in Rosemont last month. It shows her walking into a kitchen area, but never into the freezer. Her death sparked protests outside the hotel and allegations of a cover-up.
It says that it shows her walking in the trajectory, but never in the freezer. Let me say that again. It shows her walking in the trajectory, but never in the freezer. I keep telling you, peoples, she never walked into the freezer. So this is another video that I need to go ahead and I need to go ahead and download, because I'm going to make my short. I'm going to make my short after this, peoples. And look at all of this good, clear video footage from the news. See, they only just give you clips and things and stuff, you know. Well, it's okay with the little clips. I'll find more and stuff. It's more footage out there, peoples. More video footage out there. But I'm going to make my shorts out of all of these little clips that I'm finding and things, because I need to go ahead and continue to keep proving my case. Everybody said, oh yeah, Kenneka walked herself in a freezer. Well, I told you, stupid people, that never happened. I told you it never happened, people. But yet everybody wants to listen to Trey Gay and all of these other stupid people who's been talking about this case. But again, people, you got the news saying that it never happened. You got the news, people, saying that it never happened. But you got this sucker over here saying that, oh yeah, it did. Let's listen to him. Andrew the Rapist Holmes, peoples.
Did anybody pull her down there? Did anybody force her down there? Was anybody on the other side in that room with her when she got down there? And the answer to that is no.
Despite widespread speculation on social media that 19-year-old Kenneka Jenkins' death may have involved foul play, community activist Andrew Holmes says it's clear from video that she apparently walked into a freezer in the Crowne Plaza Hotel basement on her own. Jenkins was at a birthday party on the 9th floor of the hotel. Video from the party shows partygoers using drugs and alcohol, and it has fueled social media gossip and led to large groups of protesters outside the hotel. Andrew Holmes, however, says police showed him the video with Jenkins' mother's blessing so he could help clear up any misconceptions.
From my view, no one else was back there down in that unsecured area.
Holmes says it's still unclear whether the Crowne Plaza Hotel is at fault for anything, but hotel officials have now offered to show Jenkins' family all 36 hours of footage recorded from 40 security cameras on the night of her death.
We wanted to be respectful of the police investigation that's going on, as well as respectful of the family as they go through the grieving period, but we also wanted them to have access to the footage to view.
Now, why did they cut him off when he was still talking? Why did they cut the audio off? What was it that he was saying? So we can easily define that, people, since somebody who can do lip service that can understand, what a person's saying. So I'm gonna ask my cousin, because she read lips because she works for the deaf people. And so there you have it, peoples. Again, they're trying to say that she did walk into the freezer, but the news people already told you she didn't. And so that is the lies and things that has been spread in this Kenneka Jenkins case, because one minute, oh yeah, she walked into the freezer. According to Andrew Holmes, next minute, she didn't walk into the freezer. So which is it, people? Did she walk into the freezer or didn't she walk into the freezer? But the news has said that she didn't walk into the freezer. The news said that she didn't walk into the freezer, peoples. And so there you have it, peoples. There you have it. Now I wanted to show you guys something, because Nick at Night had the original TY's live. In that live, in that particular live that she shown, because she had the original copy, everything is crystal clear in that video. It's not distorted or anything, and you can clearly see the people's. You can clearly see the people's faces, and it's not all blurred or anything. People's, see that? Remember the other video that I was showing you? Look how crystal clear TY's eyes is, and then look how crystal clear his face is and stuff. Look how distant that she's holding the camera. Look, you can clearly see their faces and things. See, that's the difference between a good, wholesome video that hasn't been distorted and hasn't been copied and copied and copied over. Okay, and so look what she said. Look what she said right here. It says full video shows Kenneka Jenkins was alive and well at 3 a.m. after the first video. But wait a minute. How so we got conflicting stories, because Brazy said that she got off the elevator at 2:30. But in this video, it says that full live video shows Kenneka Jenkins was alive and well at 3 a.m. after the first video. So what is what, peoples? What is what? And look how crystal clear this video is, peoples. Look how crystal clear it is, peoples. And that other video that I showed you of TY's live and things, remember, the video was all dark and you couldn't see his face and everything like that. Well, because this is an authentic, real first generation copy and not distorted by all of that madness that these people have been doing by copying and copying and copying of the video. So I'm trying to teach you something. I'm gonna put these videos together. I'm trying to teach you something, because when we look at this video, everything in it is crystal clear. You can clearly see their faces, no matter how close or how far back that they hold the camera. You can clearly see their faces, clear as daylight. But in the other TY slide that I just showed you earlier in the last live, you couldn't hardly see TY's face. So I'm just downloading all of these videos, peoples and stuff, because I'm gonna put this thing together. I said I'm gonna put this thing together because, see, I'm educating you, peoples. I'm educating you. on what to look out for. You know, y'all be thinking y'all know so much and stuff. Well, this is my line of expertise, peoples, and I'm teaching you something. If you just shh and listen, if you just shh and listen, you'll learn something, people. You'll learn something, peoples. You'll learn something. And see, I took all of these different pieces and clips and stuff of the video. All of these clips. Why is it that when she's supposed to have walked herself back into that freezer, why did the video just shut off? Where's the rest of the video? See, this is the distorted video. Well, the young lady, she had the clear cut video. Then here's these gangster boys. I don't know why they're blurting out the gang signs and stuff. So, again, the time, people, it's the time. Time is different because he's saying that she was still alive at 3, but Brazy has said that she was walking the halls of that establishment about 2:30. So what's what? Okay, so I'm going to copy this video and I'm going to extract a lot of these little juicy nuggets out of this and stuff because this is some good stuff right here. So I'm gonna break all of this apart and extract all of this good juicy stuff out of this video. So it's a beautiful thing, people. I mean, man, now all of this stuff is really coming together. It's really coming together, and it's really proving the point that I've been trying to make forever and a day. For all of you people who proclaim Kenneka walked herself in the freezer, no, she didn't, peoples, because they just told you she didn't. You will never see the video of her. So, again and again, she never walked into the freezer. The news told you that. Edward Joseph told you that. So what more do you need to say, peoples? Even the attorneys told you that. What more do you need to say? What more do you need to say, peoples? Because see, the thing is, peoples, thing is, it's that when you talk about this thing, you got to make sense of it. And things has to transition from one part to another part to another part. And if it's not transitioning, and if you can't explain it, well, then why are you trying to say it? If you can't explain it. And it has to make sense, peoples. And if it doesn't make sense, well, then what is it that you're saying? You're not saying much of nothing, peoples. So let's go on down again, peoples. Look at all of this good, juicy stuff. All of these people who talked about the Kenneka Jenkins case, peoples. All of these people. And everybody is like, what really happened to Kenneka? They had talk shows and all like this and stuff. Here, let me do it like that. So browse through this thing, see what they got.
Although she didn't directly see her daughter.
Apparently, the front desk thought my room is empty. Worse, this happened again 3:30 a.m. in the morning. There are so many wrongs at all levels. You know how scary that is? Trying to get in your room 3:30 in the morning? You better have your peace, cause I'm gonna be like Medea, peace is still, peace be still. Okay. And get gone quickly, so we know it's not an elder. Right.
And so this is the same thing that they were showing. Whatever you do, do not stay here if you value your personal safety. The first morning of my stay, I was greeted by a strange man coming into my room as I was getting into a shower. Apparently, the hotel had given a strange man a key to my room. I screamed and slammed the door shut, but my sense of safety was absolutely violated. After calling the front desk, they said it was an accident and wouldn't happen again. But I don't know how you could possibly give someone a key to someone else's room. I mean, come on, peoples. That wasn't no accident. And if I was that lady, I would have sewed the socks off them and I would have left that night. And they said they don't know the difference between toilet paper and toilet tissue. The elevators have taken me to the wrong floors, to the wrong floor at the times. 3 spider webs on the balcony, not a problem for me, but it could be for someone else. The staff is quite rude and harsh with their interactions. Something is nice though, and the beds are great. Well, all of this stuff is in the all of this stuff is in the case files, people's, you know, all of this saying and things and stuff. I know what all of this is. But there's the guy right there.
Left the room, he would turn to the camera, staring at it in a very ominous, and some would say suspicious manner. And what makes this individual even more interesting is that he would later be arrested with someone else who was connected with the case. The trans individual who was trying to talk to the police on the night that they were questioning Kenneka's mom, when she was trying to tell the officers that she seen Kenneka on the bottom floor with a group of guys, but was completely ignored.
She was seen on the bottom floor with a group of guys, which is what I've been saying forever and a day, peoples. It was the gang members. It was the gang members. She saw this, but they ignored her. She saw this, peoples, and they ignored her. She saw Kenneka with a group of guys on a lower level by the dock area. Because it had to be by the dock area. Because that's where they left her. That's where they left her. So, which is indicative and is what Edward Joseph has been saying forever and a day is that the gang members had Kenneka. They assaulted Kenneka. Why you do me this way? Why y'all do me this way? And then they left her for dead in the rear by the dock area. And the girl seen it because she seen her on a lower level with a group of guys. Well, why would she be on a lower level with a group of guys? You heard what the commentator just said, right? So how would Kenneka get out of Irene's life or TY's life if she was ever in there and go down on a lower level with a group of guys? Why would this girl want to lie? This trans. Why would this trans want to lie? That's what the person said. Why would they lie? People's boy, this stuff just gets juicier by the moment. And I'm going to take this video and I'm going to extract these little parts out too, because it is very important. And it just goes with everything that I have been saying. It just corroborates my story for what I've been saying forever and a day. You know, because the thing is, why would this person lie? No reason, no need. And you can see this is a trans. It's a trans. And there the person is right there, peoples. All right, peoples, this is late. It's 1:41 hours and stuff. I'm getting sleepy. And I got a lot of the video footage that I want and I need it. And I'm going to splice all of this stuff up and I'm going to put it together. And I'll be back live tomorrow or later on today, because it's Sunday morning, if the Lord says the same. And happy Mother's Day to each of you mothers. All of you mothers, take care of your children. Happy Mother's Day to you. You know, you are blessed. You're blessed. And I want you guys to enjoy this day to the fullest. And so happy Mother's Day to all of the mothers. Happy Mother's Day to all of the wannabe mothers. And happy Mother's Day to the mothers that had a child and child may have died, which is in many cases, peoples. Happy Mother's Day, Tia. I know that you had lost Kenneka. Happy Mother's Day to all of everyone who have a child and want to be mothers, and mothers who didn't have a child and supporting other children as your own. Happy Mother's Day to you too. And so, you know, there is no there's no bias. There is, you know, it's nothing you know, it's just a blessings Mother's Day to each and every one of you people. So I'm getting off of here, people. See, I can't even think. That's why I need to get off, because I can't even think. I can't even get my words together with what I want to say. So if the Lord says the same, people, so I'll be back tomorrow. You guys watched that first live and things, because I tell you, Brazy Certified World Media had tore it up, literally, and tore up Custom Design, make mincemeat out of him and Uncle Fed. Literally put him to bed. All right, people, that's it. That's all that I have for right now. So if the Lord says the same, I'll be back on tomorrow. And again, happy Mother's Day to all of you mothers. So, peoples, I hope I had said something to encourage your hearts upon today. Tune in again next time to Edward Joseph Let's Talk Live, Edward Joseph Kitchen, Edward Joseph Gospel Hour, Edward Joseph's Blessings Giveaway 2025 will come to you with something wonderful. I love you with the love of Christ, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. Peoples, mask up and be safe. And again, peoples, if the Lord says the same, I will be back tomorrow, or later on today, rather. And so again, happy Mother's Day to all of you mothers and things, and you guys be blessed, get your rest. And if the Lord says the same, I will see you later on today. Is that all right, peoples? Be blessed. God bless you all. Thank you for watching.